Yo, what's up, guys? It's Talon. Today we're going to be coaching a Platinum Kha'Zix who peaked Master a long time ago, but doesn't really, hasn't really played the game in a while. And we're going to be talking about how to play high mobility assassins in the jungle. Just generally going over some basic things, keeping track of spells, making sure that you understand when to go in, how to use your mobility, that type of thing. So if you're interested in that, stick around for the video. If you guys are interested in coaching yourself from me, a rank 1 player, just DM me on Discord, Talon1169, or through the link in the description to my Discord server to DM me for coaching. If you're interested, $25 an hour, and let's get right into the video.
So you see my screen, yeah?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. So this is my win rate right now.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty bad.
You want to click
And
on your stats, by the way, like look at like gold per minute and stuff like that.
this,
Yeah, yeah. And your overall jungle or
yeah.
okay, yeah. I mean,
But
we
I'm
can just
not
go in the
jungle
replays
by
then.
choice. Yeah, not jungle by choice.
You just think it's better because the role's stronger, or
Oh yeah, cause I'm a top laner, and basically I was always getting fucked by the jungle and shit. So I just got tired of it and then just went jungle.
gotcha, gotcha. Okay, then initially here we typically want to path towards like whatever we think our stronger lane is. Yeah,
Yeah, I see that a lot in your video. The thing I do though with Kazakhs, I know, like you're, like
yeah.
it's not anything against you. First with Kazakhs, I always like to go blue because there's two solo camps, the blue buff and the fucking turtle shit. I forgot the name.
The Gromp,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, the grump. So I just feel like it's easier to clear early.
Well, that
So
wouldn't,
most of
like,
the
logically speaking, you're going to
yeah,
clear all 6 of these camps right away. So it doesn't matter if you do the first one slightly faster.
okay,
You're still going to end up doing it very similar. I think blue is slightly faster because it gives you ability haste. Um, this is a pretty weird situation because he invades
yeah,
you level 1,
and then
but
yeah, and then I missed my flash instead of going just over the wall, preparing
yeah.
for his flash, I just flashed in a straight line.
I mean, this is an extremely rare situation. Like, it's very rare you're going to get invaded, especially by a Shyvana level 1.
Yeah.
So there's not,
And I was
it
expecting
is
the
what it
the
is.
Kate to rotate too, because her wave was pushing. I was expecting her to rotate and help, but
I mean, it's pretty normal that they're not going to help level 1 on the invades. That's just kind of how it generally goes. If she was paying attention, she would push her wave harder, get level 2, and then help you. But yeah, I mean, in plat especially, we're not really going to expect that. Maybe higher
yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit. Also, by the way, click on the top right, the 3 little bars, and make the fog of war, make it blue. That way we would see like what you would see in the game.
This?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So now we just see what you would see.
And Shiv, by the way, just died into her red camp.
Yeah, so this is a very plat gameplay, and so obviously we're gonna see like a lot of mistakes from the enemy, and we're not really gonna get punished a lot for our mistakes. So really, what we're concerned with, like I know you're gonna get out of plat, even though your win rate I guess is kind of low. Like you've been master before, like I'm sure you'll be able to if you play
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, yeah,
Anyways,
yeah, just a bit rusty. And by the
yeah,
way, Kha'Zix is not a champ I used to play.
you're
So
kind of
I
learning him.
just start yeah, I just started playing him right now because he's pretty broken in my opinion. And I could never get his playstyle down, but I feel like I got a bit like a more of a hang on it right now.
Mm-hmm. As long as you're sticking to a small champion pool, that's fine. 2, 3 champions max. I don't really recommend more if, again, the goal is to climb. So if your goal is to hit challenger,
Yeah.
it's going to be extremely difficult, especially because you said you have a limited amount of time to do
Yeah.
that without playing 2 or 3 champs max. If you play more, it's just too hard. Even for me, like I stick to 2 or 3 champs per role per season for the most part, and I obviously play a bunch. So that's kind of the first thing to keep in mind here. You full clear, you're looking for a gank. I don't mind just sweeping and looking for a scuttle, which is like that's what you're gonna do right
Yep.
now. I mean, again, everything this early game is pretty straightforward apart from the kind of weird invade thing, but I'm not too concerned with that. Um,
Yep.
yeah, that was a weird. Oh, your Lux ult. I almost stole your thing on accident,
Yeah, yeah,
but
that's why I was waiting.
yeah, but no, everything's fine so far, obviously. But I was gonna say as well, I don't think Kha'Zix is broken at all.
Oh
I think
no.
he's decent. He's not anywhere near top of the meta.
Oh
Um,
no.
no, I mean he's fine. He's a playable champ, and if you one trick him, you can climb and do well with him. But the problem with Kha'Zix is he's not very blind pickable. Like he has a lot of matchups that just aren't good. They pick very
Okay,
tanky
okay.
comps or comps that can group together a lot, that type of thing. I also wouldn't have taken my teammate's full wave since he could have gotten there. And it's before 6 minutes, so we don't get like max gold from that. If we're past six
Okay.
minutes, I'm fine with it. And if he ended up like clearly not going, then you could have taken it after. But he was like right there, so I would have just taken or let him take it rather. And then I would
Okay.
just be going and farming my blue. You also ulted really early here.
Yeah,
I
because
guess
I thought I could get out of the vision, but it wasn't long enough.
yeah, and it really wouldn't have mattered. Like we're not overly concerned with again. If he spots us, like if your gank working or not working is predicated on the fact that you're not spotted from that point until getting to him, it's very
Yeah,
likely it's not going to work. You're also doing it into a Galio, who's a hard champion to kill. You also don't know if
yeah,
he has flash or not. So generally, as Kha'Zix, we're going to be a lot more concerned with getting as much gold on ourselves as possible, and then looking for those ganks
yeah,
afterwards. Because again, then something random like this shows up, and you just get a free kill. You don't
yeah.
have to be trying to overforce kind of these plays or anything like that. Like
Okay,
we're
okay,
we're
okay.
perfectly fine with just farming. Um, and yeah, I mean this is a pretty boring early game, and like there's not a
Yeah, yeah.
whole lot of things to talk about.
But my
Um,
team is doing good, which is
yeah,
rare though.
yeah, for sure. And in plat, it doesn't like it's not that important whether or not the early game goes well because nobody knows what they're doing later on anyway. So you can come back in a lot of games that aren't going well. So like maybe if you have a replay that like doesn't go as well early game as well, it's probably a good thing to check out. Like
Yeah,
as a second one.
yeah, I think the second one is a loss, which I think I played it pretty good, but
Yeah.
just ended up losing. This one was a win, but I recorded it this morning because I needed a
Hmm.
second gameplay.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
played a couple of games, and this one I feel like I played bad, so I felt like I could learn from it. Like here, I was waiting for them, but they just wanted it back, so then I just wasted time doing nothing.
No, this is a fine
And
thing to wait for, and also I think you could just kind of kill him anyway. Okay, so the first thing we need to understand, this
yeah,
is really the first kind of mistake here, is your mobility is not to be wasted all at the same time because then people can really easily escape. So you ulted and you jumped on them. Typically, what we want to
okay,
do is like you can ult onto them and just Q them, W them, that type of thing, and then when they run away, like they dash away from you, they do it. You jump onto them, or if you
okay.
take too much damage, you jump away, obviously. Whereas what you
So
did, you ulted and you jumped in, so then you had no way out apart from like your second ult, but like you didn't really have like a great way out because it's not that going to close that much of a distance or anything like that. So
yeah, so basically, you're saying with Kha'Zix that I shouldn't engage with my E. I should just
what I'm saying is you need a way out. I'm not saying to not engage with your E. So
okay,
this is true for any champion, and like whatever champion that has mobility, Vi, Riven, anything. It's not that you need to use a specific form of mobility. It's that you need to, if you have multiple forms of mobility, you need a way out. So, for example, if someone's low enough and you can jump on them, especially if you have your evolve, right, and then you can reset, go and kill them.
yeah,
But even if you don't have your evolve, you still jump on them, you can kill them. The thing is, though, then you need to make sure you have your ult to get out right after, or that you have your flash to get out. You see, again, you did the same thing here. What'd
yeah,
you do?
yeah,
You
yeah.
ulted, you jumped. You didn't need to ult there. Like, ulting didn't do anything. You could have just jumped in. They can see you. Like, they're under your turret. They're going. You don't actually need the small. I think you get a little bit of movement speed from your ult, but it's not anything crazy where it's like super super useful. Um, so you could have just jumped. That's all you did, and then you ulted to chase them after they ran away or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
more about not using all of our mobility at once in fights.
Okay.
And
So I'll
that's
I'll
yeah.
probably keep doing that, by the way, because that's how I've been playing it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's fine
Uh,
because that's obviously what we're here for. So
and also between drag and the herald, I don't know what they call it now.
yeah,
Uh,
ensemble, yeah.
yeah. Do you think it's always good to go in solo queue? Of course, to always go for the ensemble.
So generally speaking, we want to prioritize the objective that our stronger laner is on. So if our dual lane is doing super well and our Baron laner is playing like shit, we go to the dragon. If it's the opposite, we go to ensemble. And then if both are strong and you think you can win the fight at either, I'm gonna slightly value ensemble. It's a little stronger because it helps us snowball a lot more early game. Gets a lot more gold
Yeah.
ourselves, but it's not enough where we care, frankly. So
Oh, okay, okay.
it's more that yeah, whoever's stronger, we want to play more around them. So like here, I think everyone on your team is doing pretty well. And then this is another situation where it's like you don't actually have to fight here. There's three people grouped up. You don't necessarily need to go in and try to look for a fight. Just go and farm. Like, and this
Yeah.
is again, you waste all your mobility, so then that's why you got caught by that
I'm still
bubble.
yeah.
If
I
you just
needed
jumped
to
in and
be
you had ult
flagged.
out, yeah. But like you had a Gromp up, you could have just gone for your Gromp. You could have just farmed. We don't have to do
Okay.
anything crazy. When our early game goes well as a team, our main goal is just to stop turret bounty. Do you know what turret bounties are? Like the gold bounties?
Yeah. When it turns into gold, and then
Yep.
okay, and it wasn't here.
So our main goal is just to protect those bounties. So like once 6 minutes happens, you get full gold from the wave. So for example, this bot lane wave that Galio was on, you could have just gone and covered it right away so you don't lose this turret. Because even if you get a kill, losing this gold bounty gives way more gold than just one of your kills. Like we're really
Yeah.
basically concerned with, again, when we're ahead 5k, 6k gold, 4k gold, just stopping those bounties from dying rather than taking a bunch of turrets. Whereas let's say you were even gold, maybe only up 2k, maybe down 2k, you would now want to play around that top lane turret, for example, because that's the one turret that's still available that you could take. Whereas now you're against
Okay.
taking it. But like before, like that would be where we're spending more of our time ganking and playing around, because generally we want to be able to take those outer turrets. But once you
Yeah.
take these 3 outer turrets like you have here, all you do is you farm, you're strong, you wait for some easy fight to show up, and you make sure that you protect, waves and turrets so you don't lose a bunch of gold bounties. So like this top lane turret is your only one that's alive, right? So this
Yeah.
is the one where we want to make sure that we don't lose it. But like you're not going to engage on these 3 people here. It's 4
No.
now even. You're just sitting here. You're literally just hovering here so the wave doesn't kill your turret. You're not. But here you kind of go mid. You kind of. I think you're
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
hovering it, but you were kind of
I was
confused.
thinking of
Yeah.
going mid, but then after that, when I saw like they were still going hard on it, I was like, well,
Yeah.
maybe I'll just go in. And then here I missed my fucking W.
It happens. But see, this is what I want, because it's okay that you couldn't protect it. There's 4 people. That's fine. But all you did, you walked up, you W'd him, you tried to Q him. You still have your jump. So if you ever were in danger, you could have jumped out. And that's what I like. Like, I don't want to be greeting our dash. Like even here,
Yeah.
all you can do is you can just Q this guy and then just jump out. And just what you do, you don't Q because, you were in danger. That's fine. But even you ult in, you just Q, and then you jump out. It's a very, very common thing. It's just like poke. Again, team fights especially, you ult in, you Q someone just for some poke, jump out, that type of thing, because like you're trying
And
to get
here.
someone low enough to kill them, and there, that's fine. I mean, he ends up dashing and flashing out. That's okay. I mean, I'm like sure you could have probably predicted it and dashed
Yeah.
after him, but I'm not concerned with that. That's totally fine. And farm wise, you're decent enough, but I did notice like your GPM is 778.
Yeah.
If we're playing really really well on jungle, it's going to be a lot higher, and it's going to be for reasons like this. Like you're trying to fight a Galio when there's a top lane wave that you should have been clearing. And
Okay.
that's the type of like again, you're not gonna one shot a galley. You're Kha'Zix, but you just gave up that entire top wave. And again, once we're 6 minutes onwards, you can get these waves like perfectly fine. And then there, you could have jumped on him because you would have got the reset.
Yeah.
So like at that point, now you had resets, you could have jumped on them right away. So that's what we need to understand too, is kind of have a plan for when we're going in. Whereas I think you ulted in there, and then you queued him, and then you jumped out, which is what you would have done if you had no evolve on your E. But you have the evolve, so you could have just jumped straight in, one shot him, and then got out.
All right.
But yeah,
And
again, waves. So pause real quick here.
yeah.
You have a question you can ask before.
Yeah. Sorry for it's just about the champ pool then,
Yeah,
because Kha'Zix is not my main. I used to main Kane,
yeah,
but then Kane was pretty easy back then because you could get blue in like 4 minutes.
yeah, yeah.
Now it's a lot different, and it's a lot of gamble on do they have enough range that I can go blue and then just carry. So I don't play him anymore really into rank.
Yeah.
So who I know you play Vi,
Mm-hmm.
but who do you think is like strong right now? Who's to be like a
Yeah.
meta pick?
So first thing is red cane is like 48 times better than blue cane right now. Red cane's pretty nutty.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's like he's not like a top tier jungler, but if you're a good cane, red cane could carry a lot of games. So maybe if you really like cane, you try that out a little bit, see how it goes for like 5-10 games.
Okay.
But Vi is insanely strong right now, and Bessa is still really really good. A simple champion is Olaf, who is still strong and good at carrying games. What other champions do you play a lot of?
In jungle, Heka, Volley, uh, Kane, Kha'Zix now. I think that's pretty much
Okay, if
all
you
I
played
play.
Hecarim, Kha'Zix, and Kayn, like if those were the champ, you don't even have to play Kha'Zix. You're just saying because you're playing him and you might want to.
Yeah.
Those champs are good. Like you can carry games with that. You don't have to be concerned about playing the most meta champion because 2 months from now the meta is going to change. 3 months, 1
Yeah.
month, you never know. You don't know what champ's going to get buffed or nerfed. Play champions that you're good at that are not dog shit in the meta, and you're fine. Like, I have
Okay.
played Vi for 2 years, 3 years. I've played 800 games with this champion. I've had a 60% win rate on her when she's average. I've had a 60% win rate when she's really good. Like, it doesn't actually matter whether or not she's top tier champion. Like, I play a bunch of Warwick right now. Almost nobody plays Warwick, but it's like the champion I climbed to rank 1 with for the most part. So
Okay.
you mostly need to be concerned with champions that you're good at. Hecarim is going to be nice because he's good in most games, whereas Kha'Zix again is, more of like, oh, they're squishy, I'm going to counterpick.
Counters.
And then you pick
Mhm.
Kayn, since you want red Kayn, you pick when you see a lot of melee now.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I would say like would be a good champion pool if you don't want to learn things because you have a limited amount of time. And if you like those champions, there's no reason to start learning Vi or to start learning Ambessa. It's not gonna. You're gonna spend. It's gonna take you 100 games to be as good on Vi as you are on these champs you play, and then she's only gonna be marginally better, and you just don't have that time, unless unless you're like, oh, I really like Vi, I want to learn her, then go and learn her because she is strong. But if that's not something you specifically want to do, there's no reason, basically.
Okay, no worries. And you wanted to pause?
Yeah. So the thing I want to show you is, again, the main difference between like a grandmaster master level jungler versus a sovereign level jungler is waves, not the gold that they get from camps. You're not the best in terms of farming camps, but you do farm your camps decently well. Again, you should be a bit more efficient with it, as we spoke about, but overall it's fine. What you're not doing at all is paying attention to waves. So if we look at the wave right now, look at your mid wave, you see it, right?
Yeah.
Now I want you to scroll your map over to where the enemy mid wave is based on where our mid wave currently is.
So like here?
Yeah, exactly. And so if it's there, why wouldn't we walk and go get it right now? Because it's 200 gold for us. Go get that wave.
Okay.
I don't care about this camp because that camp's going to be there 5 seconds from now. That wave's not going to be there 5 seconds from now because your Lux is going to go take it. And you're playing in plat solo queue. So you need all the fucking waves. I don't want your plat Lux, who's probably downloaded the game 7 days ago, to be, getting the wave. It doesn't do anything for us. And even when you're even when I'm playing in Sovereign, I do the same things.
Okay.
So we need to be basically like, we see a wave, we get the wave, then we see that the next wave is coming soon because we look at our map like that. Okay, I'm gonna get one more wave. Only do it again past 6 minutes because that's when you get max gold. And then after that, you can farm your camps if you need to. Other thing is, and you can start the replay now, but the other thing is, we need to value Baron over dragons, because what happens now, the Baron timer, it spawns at 11 minutes, and usually dragons will spawn around 10:30 to 11:30 is like the second dragon. And so when the enemy are randomly, like, look at right now, the enemy jungler is bot lane for no reason. He has no idea where you are. He's clueless. Go in, one-shot the Baron. Your champion one-shots Barons. The first Baron's extremely weak right now. Again, maybe a thing that we don't know because and instead you go in here, and again, notice how you also used all your mobility right away, so you had no way out. So also that, but we've already talked about that. But yeah, if you just, everyone here is just fucking jacking off on the wrong side of the map, just go solo the thing. It's only 9k health early game, like at 11 minutes, and it's super weak. The first Baron only lasts for 1:30, it lasts less, and it's a little weaker, but it's way better than a dragon. So that's a very common thing. Don't do it if you don't know where the enemy jungler is. I'm not saying to just sneak it every game. Make sure you have sweeper, so you know if they had vision or not. Don't just do it without sweeping it. But if you have vision, you know that they did it. You can very often look for that and just hover that.
And quick question. So basically, I did go for the drag this time because we're playing against the Shiv. She didn't get the first dragon, so I was
Doesn't matter.
Dragon's gonna be easy to kill. Doesn't matter.
So I don't remember how or when this happened, but she doesn't get the same dragon buff she used to. Now she has a different passive where when she gets objectives or she kills camps or whatever, she gets stacks basically, and every 100 stacks she gets like an evolve on an ability. I actually don't play this champ enough, I barely see it, but I'm pretty sure it's like an evolve or something like that. And dragons do give her slightly more stacks, but dragons don't give her like the old buffs that they used to give. So it's not like it's not like if Shyvana gets dragon and you're super scared. She just gets a bit more stacks. I really don't give a shit, frankly. If I get a Baron, I'm totally happy with that. So it's not something you have to be overly worried about at all. And in fact, it's kind of something you use to your advantage because the stupid, low elo players will think that they need the dragon and then they'll overvalue it. So.
And then I just go for the Baron. And here, sorry about that. Quick question.
Good.
So I'll just move a bit. So basically now they're pushing mid, right? The tower's gone. Now what should I be doing? Should I be trying to help the Kate, or should I just go for the Baron right away?
No. In this case, when they're pressuring mid, like you don't just go for Baron. You do help, yeah. So mainly the time that we want to go for Baron is when we already have like a mid wave push. So that's why if we're pushing the mid waves, as I'm kind of speaking about and whatnot, and we have control, then yeah, then we like go for the Baron, or especially when they're on Dragon when they're distracted. But yeah, if they're taking your turret, you definitely want to help your team out here.
Okay.
And then there, it's a little unfortunate you didn't get the reset, so you kind of didn't have your
Yeah.
jump.
I got the he fucking crit me too. He did more damage than expected.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it would make sense that he crits. He probably has
yeah,
over
yeah,
30% crit at
that's
this
his
time.
build. Yeah.
But yeah. No, I mean, I don't think there's anything too wrong with that fight. That is more of a like a little unfortunate. Um, Again, main issue so far, you're a little inefficient early
Farming
game
up.
in terms of like valuing fights over farming first, farm first, then go for the fights after most of the time. But overall, you're
Yeah.
not bad about that. Then you need to value the waves again a lot more than farming. Like you still farm your camps, but you need to take these waves when they're free waves for you. And then
Yeah.
11 minutes onwards, it's funny. I just told you to take waves, and then I'm going to tell you that you shouldn't take this wave. Why shouldn't you
Oh.
take this wave?
Because the whole team has pressure onto the Baron, so I should move closer to
Yeah.
the Baron.
Yeah, basically 11 minutes onwards, you aren't ever on the dragon side. You are always on the Baron side of the map, like 99% of the time. Now, if you see a free fight, like obviously the game is unique. Sometimes you see a specific opportunity, but it's very rare that you're just going to be anywhere apart from on the Baron side of the map. You want to constantly value hovering around the Baron, getting vision around the Baron, clearing your camps around the Baron, and even your red side camps right now, for example, you only get them when you have vision of Baron and you know the enemy aren't on it and there's no way they can get it. Like, I'm okay with not farming my red side camps for a minute just to make sure they don't get Baron. But again, what are you doing? You're valuing a dragon super, super heavily. You could use this dragon to get a free Baron. I know in this case it's Soul, so if your team is all there, I'm fine with fighting for it. Just because if your team's there, like we can get Soul, and this is okay in this case. But it's another situation where since it kind of looks like a bad fight, our teammates are dead, we don't need to overvalue the fight because they'll just get one dragon. Like that doesn't matter. We get a Baron and it's fine. Instead, we kind of go here and we just have another losing team fight where we've kind of seen like over and over again, a lot of these fights aren't super winning for us. And again, it's plat. It's just like it's sort of random. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose the fights. But the way to create these more consistent, guaranteed opportunities is pressuring that Baron, using those opportunities to sneak the Baron when you know, again, only do it when you know they don't have vision, and when you know where they are. Don't just do it for fun. But when we have this information, we can definitely do it. Like even here, you should be hovering the Baron side. You're not going to sneak Baron at this point in the game by yourself, but we want to hover Baron because that's what we're worried about. We're not worried about them getting this random one dragon. We're worried about them getting the Baron and ending the game. So if they go for dragon, I don't care. But if they go for Baron, again, we do lose, or at least have a good chance of losing. You still have a chance of winning, and the only reason this is even working is, again, we're in plat. So we're not concerned about the fact that you're in plat, like you're going to get out of it. So getting this random soul, like that made no sense that you were just given that for free when your teammates were dead. And they're not on Baron either. Like if this was happening in high elo and you did get the dragon, you would just be like, oh, they must be on Baron. Yeah, so we need to be aware of that type of thing. So basically, in the mid game, awareness of waves and Baron is really your main issue.
So now here again, it's better. God was already going for it, and then now
you should just be on the Baron side. You should just be hovering, like literally just sitting in the bush getting vision. You also could take the teleport thing. Do you know what the teleport thing does?
Oh yeah. I didn't even realize.
I think you just realized it now, or maybe you're chasing.
No, I'm backing. Lucian. I think
you're chasing Lucian. Yeah. And then again, using mobility properly rather than using it all at once. Like there, for example, it's fine. You just jumped in. You didn't ult as well. That's good because then you had your ult to get out, or to reposition or whatever.
So now here I saw that they did damage on Shiv. Shiv's almost dead. So then that's when I decided to.
Yeah, if you know that Siobhan's almost dead, especially as a Kha'Zix, like Kha'Zix is really good at one-shotting these things, so you can take these sort of opportunities. What we do want to know is, or keep in mind, is we don't really need to flip objectives when we're ahead. Do you know what I mean when I say flip objectives?
Yeah. We don't want to get a team fight and then risk losing it.
Yeah, because like you're gonna win the game anyway, probably given the fact you have Soul, you're up 5k gold. So doing that Baron, pretty risky. Now if you know Shyvana's not there, you know she doesn't have ult, whatever, like you can do it. I don't mind. Okay, pause here again as well. You can do it again, but again, it's not really necessary. And then it's actually really funny. So Baron's up, right? Key objective, really important. You're always on the other side of the map. Elder's up. Where are you now? Again,
on
the
one
time you should have been on the dragon side of the map in the last 9 minutes, you're not there. So we need to, again, just understand what we want to do as a jungler. First 11 minutes before Baron, more like 10:30 because we want to be prepared a little early.
Yeah.
For first 10 minutes and 30 seconds, the only goal is to get gold, which means first 6 minutes you farm your camps, full clear, very straightforward. If you see a gank opportunity, you go for it. If you don't see a gank opportunity, you recall, you spend your gold, you go back to where your next camps are respawning. Not much more complicated than that. Past 6 minutes, prioritize the objective of our stronger laner, go to that objective, do that objective, and then from there, again, we just farm waves when we can get waves, we farm our camps when they're up, and then 10 minutes and 30 seconds is, again, that first timer. Then now we're just going to hover Baron and constantly hover that. Hover whatever objective is up, clear the waves around that objective. So very often, mid prio is super important. Just push the mid wave with your team. You know, maybe you get a minion or two out of it. Clear your camps when you can. And again, once there's an objective spawning, I would say within 30 seconds, then you want to hover around that side. So when Baron's spawning soon, hover around the Baron side. Elder spawning soon, hover around the Elder side. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah. But I'll just let you know my thought process in this. Why I
Yeah.
wasn't at the elder. First I could steal the red buff, so then I did, and then after that I realized the wave was pretty close and we got Baron, so I was like, I might as well put pressure on the other side of the map too,
I
while the
understand.
team is just trying to fight.
But okay, let's think about it this way. You're
Yeah.
up 7k gold. You have soul, right?
Yeah.
So if you just play normally, there's almost no way you lose a fight. What's the one way you lose this game?
The elder, they get elder, and then after that we get into a team fight, and then they kill us all.
Yeah, so basically, the only way you lose, you're doing the only, like, you're giving them a chance to win, you know, like, or to
I get it.
do the thing that would be the only way you would lose. And so
Okay.
it's not always about making the technically correct play. It's about understanding the specific circumstances of the game. It's the same reason that maybe technically it's a good chance for, or it's a good opportunity for you to do the Baron when you did the Baron, because you're probably going to sneak it. You probably have, let's say, a 75% chance of getting it. But the problem is you already had an 85% chance of winning the game at that point because you had soul, you were up 5k. So that risk reward doesn't really make sense to us. You know what I mean? So it's more about, again, we can take those riskier plays. We can do these types of things. If we had the Baron, it was even gold, and we knew, like, I don't think we're going to win the team fight. We've been losing a bunch of team fights in a row, so I want to get the wave pushing, have that pressure, then I can go after. If that was the case, it'd be fine. But because that's not the case, we don't really want to do that.
Okay.
You
I
can start
play
the
him.
replay. Yeah. And yeah, luckily our team wins, you know, the fight, it seems, so it didn't really matter. But
Yeah.
and yeah, it's also just not really like the job of Kha'Zix at this point. And if we are going to do this again, we do this more like 45 seconds before the objective spawns, 30 seconds, because there's like a really good NA Kha'Zix player named Rumi. He's probably the best Kha'Zix in NA, and I very frequently play against him on Kha'Zix. And when I'm like a side laner who's strong, I try to split push around 20-30 seconds before the objective spawns, and he'll pick me off on that side despite it being opposite side because it's 20-30 seconds. But he's not going to be there 10 seconds before, because then he needs to be on the objective. So if you're looking for this timer, it's more like 20, 30, 40 seconds before the objective is spawning that you briefly look for that pick, because then you have pressure on the objective and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm assuming the game ends here. So again, just reiterating the main points is the farming early game, taking waves later on in the game, hovering the same side of the objective, you know, when that spawns, and then also just not overvaluing, you know, fights when we're not super strong. And then again, when we do have a lot of gold as a team, we're not trying to perma fight. We're just trying to protect our gold bounties in the mid game, that type of thing. Those are probably the main things. Do you have any questions about anything we've talked about, or?
Oh, I know it's pretty clear. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool.
So now we can go to second
Yeah, you're
gameplay.
gonna end here, so yeah, there's no real.
Yeah. I don't know if it's theirs too.
Yeah, if it's not, we'll find another. Yeah, it's not. Those replays aren't available.
Oh, they're not available.
Look at the. Yeah, you see the replay thing.
Yeah.
Only those.
Okay. 2 seconds. Then it's this
Is
one.
anything here like something you don't want recorded, or is it all fine?
No, that's
Okay.
all fine.
I just want to make sure you didn't show anything. That's like, yeah.
No.
Cool. Okay, so here again, pathing to. Well, we have Pyke Lucian. I'd probably path towards Pyke Lucian, even though Jhin Karma are stronger than Nasus. Nasus is not the easiest champion to kill. So I like pathing towards Pyke, and it looks like you do, but that's just because it's the blue side.
Yeah.
But like, I like it because Pyke has good gank setup as well. And yeah, like I said, I understand your thought process with the more isolated things, and it is a little faster. And as an efficient jungler, like a Kha'Zix who wants to farm, it's not an unreasonable thing, but I still definitely prefer, you know, taking a slightly slower clear in order to be able to path towards
and then
the stronger lane.
I don't know if you know who Rabenga is.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so like I watch his videos too,
Hmm.
and he often says keeping the red buff for last to basically have more time with it to have like the burn
Yeah.
and everything, right? So you say it doesn't matter, we should just
Yeah, I
path
disagree with him there. I
towards.
mean, again, like
Okay.
good players can disagree. You know, he's a good player.
No,
You
yeah,
can
it's
listen to
different
him, and
opinions,
that's
different
a
play
reasonable
style.
thing. And if that's your thought process, you want to continue following it, it's not unreasonable to do it. I personally think that one of the main things of jungle is being able to be efficient while still having enough time to like impact lanes. And the easiest way to do that is through this certain pathing. You're like, oh, this lane is going to be stronger, more volatile, or more gank setup. So I would rather it's convenient pathing so that I can gank them versus having slightly more time with the red buff. The reality is very, very rare that red buff is the difference maker between getting a kill and not getting a kill.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that the lane I choose to path to very often does lead to me getting a kill that I wouldn't have gotten if I was on the other side. So to me, that's a more like logical thing. But both are reasonable. So it's not the end of the world if that is the choice you make. And then also do not smite your things until they're within smite range, just because of a small chance that maybe you get invaded, for example.
Okay.
Also
Yeah.
the fog of war thing again, by the way, so that we see what
Oh,
you see.
yeah, but I can't change this one because I
Oh right, I forgot. I forgot it's not.
yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, that doesn't matter. It's really not a big deal. It's more of a small thing. I mostly do it so that I can show people that I know where the person would
What's
be without
happening?
actually seeing them. Whereas here, obviously, I can see where Yone is, so I can't like
Yeah.
tell you. But it doesn't matter. You did everything fine here. Again, you're just full clearing. This is what your champion does, and then you should just be looking for that cause or that kale.
Yeah.
And yeah, we should just be. So another thing we need to understand is you're a first strike jungler, and this is
Yeah.
something we see Corrupt do a lot. He's one of the best junglers in NA. When he plays first strike junglers, especially, he'll just walk to a lane and just get a first strike proc. Like if you can't kill, so for example, that Kha'Zix was low, or that Kale
Yeah.
I mean was low. You probably couldn't have killed him because he would have ran away, but you could have just gone and just got a random ability on him like you do here. Like if you miss, but like it's
I
fine.
miss. Yeah.
But you the right thought process, and all you're trying to do is just first strike. Like that's just an additional 10 20 gold. Why not? Also here I would
Yeah.
have just valued the scuttle. Getting the double scuttle would be pretty valuable, pretty easy to do. We're not
Okay.
like looking for double scuttle, but because you'd already full cleared, you already cleared everything, and you knew Yone was on the same side as you, you should have just
Yeah.
valued that. Whereas again, you're just looking for a fight here. Their Kale rotated, which means they have an extra person. Don't look for the fight here, just look to farm. But instead, you don't really give that up fast enough. And then again, now you don't get that additional 150 gold from the scuttle. They get it, and all your camps
Yeah.
are up already. So if you
Okay.
immediately did scuttle, and then you realize, oh, Kale rotated, they have an extra person, I'm not going to go fight, you would have already gotten 2 of these camps as well. You'd already be going back to your red side almost, and then you'd be able to gank red side. So instead
Okay.
of trying to match when the enemy have numbers advantage or they're stronger, that's why I say path towards the stronger laners, because we want to fight with people who are stronger, obviously. So if you have a
Yeah.
numbers disadvantage or people are just like losing lane, just value your own farm, value your own carrying more than anything else really.
All right.
So even here, like I'd rather just go and get all of our red side camps. We have a bunch of red side camps up, rather than kind of looking for this random kill where again we know that their jungler is going to be on this side of the map because he was matching us and he wasted a lot of time. Now again, plat players makes it it kind of works out,
Yeah.
but
But
does
I
not
get
typically work.
punished in
Yeah,
hiring. Yeah.
I don't even know. Did he have ult up? I don't know because Kale never ulted. I didn't ever see Kale ult, to be honest. Like I think Kale actually.
No, I
Wait,
don't
Kale
think
hasn't
he
upgraded his
ulted.
ult. What? No, like look like Kale's level 7. He hasn't upgraded his ult because if you look on the right side, normally
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
a
it's
green
not up.
icon.
It's not the green one.
He
Yeah.
actually just hasn't. Dude, I'm so bro. I don't even. Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting, but that's just plot. Sometimes I guess it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely like the early game, you basically just need to be valuing this farm, and then within the windows where you don't have farm up is more when you look for ganks, whereas you're looking for a lot more ganks like when you have a lot of camps up. And again, just value
Yeah.
that farm, like because if we got that scuttle, which you very easily could have gotten,
Yeah.
you deny it from him as well, which means you not only you get the 120 gold, but you deny 120, so it's like 240 net gold, which how much gold you get for a kill? 300. So it's basically as
Yeah.
much of gold, and it's obviously a lot easier because getting a kill is more risky. So here you probably could fight this guy. You have an extra person, so you got a bit too scared here. Like if you
Yeah.
immediately distracted him and tried to fight, even though you're at 75% HP, you would get some
Yeah.
poke on him, and then either he goes for your Lucian as you're damaging him, or your Lucian gets damage off.
Okay.
So probably could have done that in the fight, but Not the
Now
end of the
here
world.
I'm taking the wave.
No,
Do
this is
you,
fine because he died, so
that's
you can
okay.
take the
Okay,
wave.
okay.
Yeah, that's so you can take these waves early game if no one can get it. It's just you don't take it early game unless no one can get it.
Okay.
Whereas later on in the game, you can take it regardless. And if we look at the scoreboard here, our Urgot is decently strong, and our dual lane are like fine. So everyone's kind of fine. So I don't mind doing Herald here.
Okay.
And also, you can just farm up to Herald. This is the thing too. Like, you don't actually have to run to it as fast as possible. You could have farmed those wolves,
Okay.
for example. Like, it's not urgent unless you know the enemy are like immediately coming to contest. But right now, you did this. Your mid laner's not here. Your top laner's in base. This is risky. Like, you don't know where the enemy are, and so you're either just gonna like one shot it or they're gonna contest you. And again, because they're low elo, you end up being able to get out with it. Wouldn't work in higher elo. You would just be punished for that. So we have to pay attention to where our laners are. Make sure they're in a position to help us, and just kind of, again, not the end of the world to lose an early game objective. Like, you're not just going to lose the game off it. But you chose the right objective though, because your laner was a little bit ahead, and ensemble's generally stronger, so I don't mind.
All right.
And then yeah, with ensemble, I don't. You could drop it probably just top here because it's like full health. So if you drop it mid, the mid turrets are like 1 HP, so you're probably going to kill it anyway.
That's what I did.
Yeah. I don't hate it because you still get first tower, and mid turret's generally the best to take. But because it was so low, I would be a bit happier to drop it top. It was a
waste.
Yeah, it's not a waste. It was still decent. Not bad. Just, again, could have been slightly more optimal, I would say. And then, yeah, you might be able to kill this guy. You do. And you have your jump evolve at this point, so that's good. And again, patience here, because your teammate's not here right now. So we don't need to overforce this fight. We're just kind of sitting here waiting. And then as the fight progresses, we can fight. But we want to wait for Lucian unless we see an easy kill. Whereas you jump in right away into 2 people. And because they don't know how Kha'Zix works, they didn't stand on top of each other. If they stood on top of each other, you're fucked, right? But luckily, they don't know. We'll take it, and we're fine. But yeah, a lot of patience around these objectives would have gone a long way and just made it a bit easier. And yeah, everything's fine here. Jump out and just go farm, because you have 4 camps up, so we don't need to focus on the fight when we're half HP. Yeah. No, but generally, I'd imagine also like your win rate's a little lower because you're learning a champion, and generally, again, when we're more used to playing a champion, makes it easier.
Yeah.
No reason to not take your Krugs here. Like, you should have just taken those first, probably, because the reason we would take Krugs first is because then we go to Raptors, and then we go to topside after. It's like a little quicker. Whereas if you do it like this, it's a little slower. Whereas again, I'm imagining you might just value this fight on bot side when.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and once again, we really want to care a lot about our own farm and our own gold as much as possible. Like if we're playing Kha'Zix, like again, if we're playing Vi, we're playing this type of champ, we can be a bit more concerned with fighting. And here, if a fight breaks out, like I'm fine to be clear with you going when you saw this. There was nothing wrong with this. The problem is you wasted your flash again. You could have just walked for 2 more seconds and jumped, and then you would have flashed when he flashed away, if he did flash away. Like again, it's just out using the mobility badly. And then here you should get the wave, which again, we see that the wave's about to come because we look at our wave, right? But you don't see that. Now you just lost 200 gold, and you just killed someone, so you're not in danger. Like you're full HP with your ultimate and your dash. You're not gonna die, but you just lose that 200 gold. So every kill you're getting is just less value than if I got that kill. If I got that kill, I get 200 more gold. If you get that kill, you only get the 300 gold from the kill, and that's gonna add up the more and more you do it. So yeah. Because if we think about it, like what a game lasts on average, let's say 18 minutes. If you lose 300 gold, what would that be? 30 gold a minute? Something like that. It'd be like 15 gold a minute, 20 gold a minute roughly. So basically just that one choice alone, if it's going to give you an additional, say 300 gold, so I guess I was doing the math for 300, but it's just going to give you 10, 20 extra gold a minute, basically is the point. If you do that every game, and doing that one time every other game, giving you 10, 20 gold a minute, now you do that 4 times on average a game, let's just randomly say. You're almost 50 gold plus a minute, which is putting you at 800 plus versus 780, which you're at now. That's a big deal. That's going to let you hit your item spikes a lot quicker. It's overall going to be very valuable. So basically, I just want you thinking about squeezing this additional gold off the waves. Again, we've talked about that a lot. Using the mobility better, valuing the Baron side of the map. And again, you just kind of, that one's pretty obvious.
Just jumped in.
I don't think there's much to even say. Sometimes we do things that are silly. I do it too. But It is what it is. And then once again here, we're going to want to hover the Baron side when you respawn. Whereas I'm imagining you might value Dragon, and the enemy might too, because, you know, they're also kind of silly. But you're still really strong here. I mean, you're stronger than, you know, most of the enemy and everything, so, or everyone actually. You have the most gold. So yeah, you see how what you do here is you walk, and if you want to take your red, you can maybe take it, but again, high elo enemy would have taken the Baron already.
Okay.
And so if we're just, and their jungler's dead. So I want you really hovering the Baron side right now, because their jungler's dead. If you pick 1 or 2 more people, this is Baron for you instantly.
Free Baron.
But instead, you're just getting some random farm. So basically, you're not farming enough early game. You're valuing these random fights. And then once we have things that actually are worth skipping farm over,
I
like
don't value
Baron,
them, yeah.
then we don't do them. So again, you're hovering the bot side. If you're hovering that top side fight, look at that. Like, you would have probably killed Karma, probably would have won the game. And again, you wasted your flash here. Imagine you just jumped right away.
Quick question also. How did he get so much speed boost there?
What do you mean? Oh, Jin, he probably had fleet. Yeah, he has fleet and he healed. So, do you know how fleet works?
No, I thought it was just a healing item.
So fleet footwork
rune,
is a
sorry.
rune. If you auto attack, you get healing and you also get movement speed. And then heal also heals and gives movement speed. So he clicked heal and fleet at the same time, so it gave him an insane amount of movement speed. And then he might have Nimbus Cloak. I don't know, but do you know what Nimbus Cloak is?
Yeah. When you use a spell, you get 40%
And he was so
movement.
fast that he might have had Nimbus Cloak. I don't know, but that's just
Okay.
a guess. And then here again, you're on the Dragon side. Look at them; they're all doing the stupid shit again. That 2 games in a row, right? That was a Baron for you.
Yeah.
But only if you were hovering the Baron right away. And I actually like that you chose to get mid turret here. Like, this is a really good play. Most people don't make this type of play. You're like, yeah, the fight's not going to work. You get a bunch of free gold mid. That's a really I'm really happy with that. Same thing as Baron. It's the same concept. It's just, you know, you take something more valuable that gives you more gold instead of getting the Dragon. So.
But I didn't know I could solo the Baron.
Yeah, but also, like, ping it and try to get your team. To be clear, we don't want to solo because it will get us a little low. But if you, as long as you have vision, you know, and you know they don't have vision, then yeah, you can solo it early game, because it dies really, really fast. And then so once again here, your goal is to get damage on this guy and then jump out, but you jump on his head. Your jump doesn't do very much damage. Like, that didn't really change whether or not you got the kill. I guess you get a reset, but like, we didn't know that he didn't have ult, I don't think. So if he ulted there, you would have been fucked. But you weren't thinking about, like, oh, he might ult. So you also want to think about certain spells of the enemy, you know, keep track of the KO ultimate, keep track of Yone ult, like these types of things. We want to make sure we know if the enemy have them or not. Then yeah, you recall, and then as long as we're hovering the Baron side. See, I think the problem is you might just go you might go red side here. But this is, again, like, I think you just don't care about the Baron as much as you should, and that's really kind of the problem. But yeah, we've obviously talked about it a lot, so you're pretty aware of that. And also, you're just sitting here, maybe you're thinking about what to buy, or I don't know.
Yeah, I was looking what to get for last item.
Yeah, and we don't really want to waste a lot of time in base like this. I mean, obviously, you know, it's pretty obvious, but
yeah.
And this is what I want you to do more often, is just hovering the Baron. Like, I don't care that you have a bunch of camps up. This is the issue here. You wasted your mobility on a random person when a lot of your teammates were dead. It was extremely risky. Like, it worked, but again, if the enemy are normal, he's clicking kill ult on his teammate. I guess he doesn't have his ult right now, but he would even group with them. You would have died. So we need to be aware that our teammates weren't all there. There was only 1 person there. There were 3 of the enemy. Like, you only had 1 of your teammates. There were 3 of the enemy. And now you got really low, and so they're actually able to get Baron just because of the fact that you got low off it. And that lack of awareness of Baron is also kind of problematic, because they don't even have their jungler up and they're doing Baron. They're trolling, but you weren't aware of it.
I think I steal it. I think.
Oh yeah, you probably will end up stealing it, but you were aware of it so late, even, you know, like.
Yeah. We shouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah. It was the enemy being dumb. I mean, they did it without their jungler. Like, they're idiots. But it is what it is. And obviously we'll take it. And then yeah, just go farm your red buff. So when you're at this point in the game as well, like, the only thing you're really doing, especially when you have Baron, when you want to hover the Baron, that type of thing, you just get your buffs. You know, if you have time to farm everything, but mostly just take the buffs. That's mostly what we care about. Because it's a global buff as well. Do you know now that it changed? So once it's past a certain minute, you give the global buff to your entire team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't actually remember the time, to be honest, like the exact minute that it changes, but it does. And then here is a fine time to push, like, the red side. So what we also need to understand is with Baron, invading and farming jungle camps is not what we care about. We care about pushing waves. Like, you could have gone top wave and pushed that top wave. You could have gone bot wave, especially. I think bot wave would be ideal because you get this turret here.
And bot wave would be ideal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're more worried about farming, and that's just not super valuable. And then you go in on a fight here into 5 people, which is extremely risky and is going to lead to you likely dying. Again, the enemy are really bad, so maybe not. But yeah, just more concerned with the pushing the waves, with the valuing the waves in general.
Okay.
And yeah, smarter fights, because a lot of times you go in on 5 people, or you go in when your teammates aren't there, and just not going to work in higher elo. And it's also probably what leads to you throwing a lot of games. Like, I'm sure you have leads, and then you kind of lose a game.
Yeah,
despite being
this
ahead.
one's this one we lost.
Oh yeah, so I mean, this is probably going to be something along those lines that you do. Is GA your final item or your 4th item?
No, I think here was my final.
I would
Because
say
I'm
Death Dance is
17k gold.
probably better than GA. Death Dance is quite
Okay.
good right now. They changed it so Death Dance passive now also blocks magic damage.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good. And then this dragon doesn't matter. Why does this dragon not matter?
Because we don't get the soul.
Yeah, nobody gets soul, so we don't care. If the enemy have 2 or you have 2, then it matters. Doesn't matter here. And so I would have rather hovered in the fight just in case I get a pick.
Okay.
Getting the dragon is fine. Like, I'm not saying you can't take a dragon if there's a free dragon, but there was something you could have done that was more valuable with your time, which was just maybe your teammates die, so you just go and hover, see if you can get something.
So now, should I be going to the top wave?
Nah, now you just hover. So the reason you're hovering at this point is just because we're later in the game. Our team is strong. We don't want them to randomly throw. And so we just sit around them, and we're going to probably win the team fight if it's, you know, a normal enough team fight. So we just kind of hover and make sure they don't throw. Whereas when you go on a side lane like this, if your teammates decide to go and fight and lose, then you lose the game. So it's, again, that risk reward thing where normally, yes, say this was 11, 12 minutes in the game and the Baron was, you know, up, and this is the Baron side, I'm going to tell you to do exactly what you're doing right now. But doing it at this point in the game means if your teammates die, they're going to be dead for so long that you might lose Baron afterwards and you lose the game. So you need to be a bit more aware of grouping when your team is, you know, higher, or when your team is ahead in gold and it's later in the game, and then you're going to get caught. So you're actually going to throw the game here. Maybe? I guess it's...
Nah, I can
okay,
survive.
that's a kind of funny escape. Half a second away from throwing the entire game. Luckily, we don't. But again, it's just these unnecessarily risky plays where you're way up on side lane despite the enemy, you know, being able to catch you and your teammates not being near. So
Okay.
And then once again, you should hover Baron first because that spawns 15 seconds earlier. Likely, what's going to happen is you're just going to stall long enough for Elder. But again, look at what you're doing. You're valuing waves over objectives. And these objectives are definitely, like, at some point, I'm assuming someone dies and then you lose the game. And your thought's probably like, oh, my teammate died for no reason. What's he doing? But the reality is you could have stopped it because you would have been there, you know, that type of thing. So I'm not saying that your teammates are also, obviously your teammates are going to play bad, they're plat. But, and then here again, what'd you do? You wasted your ult, you wasted your flash, you wasted your third ability, and you did 10% damage. Like, we need to be really patient with this mobility. You have 3 forms of mobility. You have your flash, you have your ult, you have your E, 1 at a time. Maybe 2 if you really need to close the gap and you know you can kill someone. But even here again, you notice how you jumped for no reason, just panicking? Like, these are the types of things that are leading to you dying, and you lose your GA for it, and I'm assuming you might die here.
Yeah, I think I die.
Yeah. Maybe you know. I don't know.
Maybe not.
You're able to make it, and then he flashes, so that's what,
Yeah.
And again, it's just immobility usage in fights. It's a very simple thing. It's going to be the same with most champions, like Hecarim, for example. You know, he has his ult, he has his little dash thingy. So, like, you can sometimes use both, but a lot of times you're going to dash on someone with your third ability or whatever ability it is, Hecarim, and then you ult onto them when they run away, you know, or something like that. You know, it just depends on the specific scenario, but... And then your teammates just do it without you. Okay. I mean, they get it.
They end up getting it.
That's funny.
No, I'm not even on myself. Okay.
Why'd you go back?
Cause I wasn't on myself when I respawned, so it wasn't like what I was doing.
Okay.
So I was
Gotcha. I mean, I'd assume you're just running the Elder, like, cause.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about anything, by the way? Just that we talked about?
No, not really. It's really just going more towards the Baron, playing on my strong lane. It doesn't matter if I start blue or red, just play with my strong lane.
Yeah. And the mobility
and then knowing when to push the waves and when to be hovering team fights.
Yeah, that is the gist of everything we've talked about for sure. So, and when it comes to improving them, I probably wouldn't improve on all 4 of those things at once because it's a little hard to think about all 4 at once. I would say focus on 1 or 2 of those things at a time, and then go to the next 1 or 2 things. And here you just fought when your teammates were dead, when you could have just been patient, wait for them to respawn. Very straightforward.
I'm yeah, so then they get Baron, and then
yeah.
All right. So I'm pretty sure. Yeah, see, nothing else happens.
Yeah, probably just over. But I mean, 2 of them are dead, so maybe a chance you could do something. But it's mostly just you hope they end. And again, here, like what you could have done, I guess you didn't have ult there. I was gonna say you could have ulted and then jumped out, but even just like walk at him, Q him, and jump out. Because again, these late game team fights, you get 1 shot if you jump in and you have no way out. So unless you can kill someone, basically like most of the time it's either you can kill someone, you jump in on them, or if you can't, probably not gonna jump in for the most part, or you're gonna wait till your team like goes in to jump. But yeah, I think you might have got S or A rating at least to have Galio's Aegis here. So
Yeah. It's not rare that I do get the SVP when I lose, but just
well,
often
SVP is
losing.
not the same as S or A.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna share my screen with you now, so that I can write the notes out for you. Let me know when you see my screen.
Hold on. Yeah, I do see it.
Okay. Then yeah. So first note is just early game value farm over ganks and then gank after. Pretty straightforward. And you don't do a super bad job of it. Just like a couple times again, we kind of got a little too concerned with the fighting and the ganking. Path towards the strongest lane, obviously. Then do not waste mobility. I can't type. Mobility at once. Use 1 for initial gap close and another to chase. Then the other thing I didn't really mention is super hard, but spell tracking. Basically, spell tracking is like, okay, the Kayle has his ultimate, so I'm not going to jump on Kayle, because if I jump on Kayle, he's going to ult, he's going to kill me. So I'm just going to poke the Kayle, wait for him to ult. Once he ults, then I go. So, or whatever ability it is. Could be Zed ultimate, could be anything. Just make sure that these key spells are out before you all in, or make sure you know they have nothing. So even the Lucian dash, that's one of the reasons we save our mobility. Whereas if it's an Orianna, and you know like Orianna already flashed, you can do all your mobility onto Orianna because she has no way to get out. So it kind of depends on that too. That's why like we have to keep track of these types of things. So that's one thing. Then my mind's blanking, but I'm trying to think what are the other things we mentioned. Hover the Baron.
the objective.
Hover Baron / objective about 30 seconds before it's spawning. Patience in fights. Like wait for our team to be there, basically. Our team to be there. More value waves more
after 6 minutes.
Yeah, after 6 minutes, and in between objective spawn timers. Basically,
and
what
also
I mean is like
after a kill too.
Yeah. So also take waves after kills. But yeah, like in between objective spawn timers basically means like if there's no objective for 2 minutes, we care a lot about getting the waves and whatever. If it's like 30 seconds for objective, we care more about making sure that we're ready for the objective and mainly push mid before objectives. Like having the mid prio is more important than anything else in general. And then do not flip as much when ahead. And just generally is like risk reward. Again, like just because it's a good play doesn't mean it's actually a good play if we're ahead a bunch and it's like 55% chance of working, that type of thing. It's like we need to be aware of what actually makes sense with our time. Are there any other things we mentioned? I'm trying to think. Because yeah, it was mobility, it was the valuing the waves, it was being around Baron, it was like the patience. I think those are the main things.
Pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other questions before we are done?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, then I will send you these notes. If you have questions as you're going through it, feel free to message me, and I'll see you later.
All right. Thank you very much. Take care.
You too.